my next video on my 30%. The next video I have today is the strange disappearance of the sodder children. On one night on December 24th, 1945, there was a family that had a house. Well, one night, a fire had started at 2 a.m., I believe. George Sodder was the father. After everyone had gone out, the 5 children were still stuck inside. So George went to go get the 5 remaining children, actually. After he wasn't able to get to the children because the staircase was on fire, his culture had went certain, and his ladder was missing. It was strange. After the fire, they couldn't find any remains. The fire department, for some strange reason, which I find it very strange, is that they didn't get there till 8 a.m. Strange. So, there was a few suspects. One of the big suspects, before I get to that, the fire chief said they have found a heart. Which is not a strange way to tell George. And it's by Janet Sodder. And they found bone fragments, which everybody assumed they were dead. But after a month, I think, George and Jenny believed their children had been kidnapped for good reasons. There was a life insurance salesman who said something very similar to what was going to happen at the fire. He said, your house is going to smoke, and your children are going to be destroyed. Stuff like that. Marina, who was one of the children who survived, claimed that she saw a man watching the children walk home. Very strange. And they were very suspicious about what the police didn't want to do anything. Police were very involved. Some people have seen their children, but they never found them. Yeah. They never found children, even though people said they did, but they weren't those people that they saw never came up again. Yeah, this was like over 100 years ago. Over 100. Jenny and George have both died. I believe Janet died in 1989. And George died a few years earlier. The only children that are still alive is Sylvia. Sylvia was one of the children that had survived the fire. And she is still alive, 77 years old. And her and her daughter and son are still trying to find what happened to her siblings. And she still believes that her parents claimed that their children had been kidnapped, which I believe is a salesman. Yeah. They didn't find no one bones. What else? They did see a picture. One of the people that had sent them a picture looked like their son, who was 14 at the time. And this was after 24 years of the fire. I still think they could still be alive since, well, they had been like in their 80s or 90s if they're still alive. And the mystery still remains unsolved. I believe people are still trying to find out what happened to the Sodder children. After that, what else? I believe the person did that so he could get back at George Sodder, which I also think George has something to do with it. because George was doing shady business, what I heard, that may involve the children. That was in Italy. Yeah. I really hope that the killer would reappear and we will all finally find out what happened to the missing children and who took them. It also mentioned that 2 women had taken the children. It was 2 women and 2 men. So I'm wondering if it was a salesman, if he was working with some other people. There's even a tombstone, which I believe is in Wisconsin. I'm pretty convinced the children were kidnapped, and the man probably put fake bone fragments of the children to make it look like they were killed. But now the mystery still remains unsolved of what happened to the missing children of the Sodder family. We will soon find out someday. I hope you all enjoy this unsolved mystery, and goodbye.